All my flesh was just as strong and never made. Yeah, okay. Sorry. I think we've started ideally 14:30, right? Uh, okay. Yeah, I think we've got everything, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, okay. Alright. I'm trying to see if everything works, you know, if Twitch is getting the stuff and if everything else is getting its stuff, and I see that it is. So here goes Twitter, here goes Blue Sky. Let's get that. This and yeah. Okay. Alrighty. Folks, what we are going to do, we're going to do exactly what everything else tells me. Unfortunately, I've got the monkey on the chat on YouTube, so I hope that I'm going to refresh the website. Yeah, it ain't shit. Okay. Cool. Thank you, YouTube, for being absolutely pathetic and useless and not giving me the thing. But alrighty. Yeah, totally. Okay. So on the last stream, we finished making flats for Raora and Chatini. Right, we have Chatini pose. And here's Raora. Yeah. So basically the thing is that we've made Raora a little bit older, right? So and gave her her hairs like tied in a bun. So that's the thing. She has a bit like like Italian dress, rather specific, I would say. And what we are going to do is actually going to be drawing the pattern first. Oh my, I've had a weird voice crack, I'm so sorry. So we're going to try and draw the pattern. Yeah, and the pattern, well, actually it's that silence right now. Let me just turn on the music. There you go. Let me check a pattern. Rose clothing pattern. Okay. And actually, the thing is that I might either, you know, pick it up, or I can just take it from the internet and just throw it in. Vector. Okay, I've got it. Adobe stock would be really good, but yeah, I'm not sure. I'm going to take that, save the graphics as. Do I want to? Yeah, okay. Yeah. So you have that, you have this. Surprisingly, I didn't make the thing in I didn't make a folder in the thing. I've only made the reference folder, but it's not a reference. So I need to go back all the way to my older thing. Textures. Oh my, that's AWIF. That one sucks. Okay, wait. Okay, wait. Maybe let's go to the Adobe stock photos. Yeah, that'll be much better because Adobe makes a better thing. And I found it. Okay. save us. Aura. Okay, wait. Where is textures? Okay, that it'll be a JPEG, so we'll have to do other things, but yeah. First we'll have to do some other stuff actually for it. Okay, let's throw that in. Yeah, you can see clearly. Oh wait, god damn it. Okay, wait. That sucks. Jesus. I guess. I absolutely fucking hate that. Okay, wait. I'm trying to search for a good pattern actually for the clothing. But everything here is a freaking free trial. I just want to download the thing. Something that is not premium. Can I? Hello? Adobe? Oh yeah, right. Yeah, totally. Okay, now I think I found it. I hate it. I need PNGs. Pattern. Vectors. Can I get a free version? Of course, the better ones are premium, right? Oh, there it is. There's something that's free. Okay. Okay. Flowers. Alrighty. Now I'm throwing this shit here. Perfect. Let's just delete the background. It's supposed. I believe that it was free because it didn't have the translucent background, which sucks. For me, but whatever, you know? Whatever. I can just delete it all. Okay. Now Control C, Control V. God damn it. Control C, Control V. Alright, and we want to get that here because we want to actually overlay it with her a bunch of times. Okay. Oh, that's a nice pattern, by the way. I'm gonna delete stuff now. I utterly despise the fact that actually I couldn't find a normal photo for that. Yeah, we are going to shade later on. Shading shouldn't be really that difficult because I believe we should be able to shade it with the same color. I suppose I can try to shade clothing with black, but that's the thing, like, I would feel bad making tests on an illustration like that. And I know that it would take much longer if I would want to test things out and then just deep out from that. You know? Also, I don't know why I didn't notice this thing for some reason. In the end, we did have the moment to clean things out on the last stream. Okay, that those elements have to be hidden because they are, you know, they're totally different element. Okay, deleting, am I right? Erase. Oh my. And to be fair, I would feel like making patterns too. So I guess that's another idea for the next stream, making patterns like that for the clothing. You know, it's not really that difficult to make them, actually. But it takes a lot of time, so you need to kind of prepare that you're going to spend an ungodly amount of time just on making something like this. Because also making special vectors like that for each and every element is very difficult. That's why I'm running towards using or you know, pre-mates, but actually it's going to be easier and better for us if we would make our own, because for example the wood is not going to have a realistic texture, it's going to have our texture. Right, so it's going to have the manga anime in our style texture. So actually I'm thinking about getting like 5K by 5K pixels, 300 dpi square canvas, and just drawing top to bottom on the thing. Okay, so soy. Okay, I like it. Wait, before we do anything, is there anything that we should be worried about? No, I don't think so. No. I'm going to do one trick. Okay, because there's a line here. Same thing here. And over here we can pull that element, those elements down. Actually, wait. That can be cut out and put lower. Okay. Because now we are making the shift on the thing. So actually, whenever you have like, you know, different like indentations and stuff on the clothing, the patterns are going to shift a little. So that's what we are looking for. Same here, right? That one goes here. And is there anything else? I guess... Yeah, I guess that'll be it. Yeah, okay. And over here. That... That... I do really think that we want to spend some time doing pre-mates for patterns like this. Now we can merge low. And lo and behold, we can proceed with shading. Let's start with the beads because they are simple. I think we need pink for that. Yeah. Actually too much. Oh my, oh my. So I guess you can do something like that and then like this. Yeah. And something like this. You know, that's... It's a cool idea, but it's actually getting a bit too much into the eyes, you know? Okay, that's the thing. I guess now we can add white touch to it. And then we'll be able to add also reddish tint to her neck because it's the beads are going to actually bounce the light and project the red tonation onto her neck. So that's what we want to go for too, but later on. You know what? Maybe let's just do one thing like that here. And let's call it a day, maybe. Yeah, maybe some just dots here and there. Okay. Bueno. Okay. I hope that YouTube chat is working for y'all. It's not working for me, so I'm a bit worried. You know. Hi Karen, glad to have you here. How are you? Hope your has going? Now I need to pick that and use darker tone. Let's actually save that color too, our color palette. And yeah, folks, I'm really hoping that you'll have some fun today drawing with me. We are actually going on for a really nice marathon altogether, actually, today, because this is the second stream that we are having today, and we are going to make another stream on our usual streaming time. We'll see. Just watch out because the chat might not really work. That song for some reason reminds me of the Shinji's Bankai. What was it? Sakashima Yokoshima Happo something. Basically he was like closing himself in this some kind of lotus. Hi Hero Red, glad to have you here. How are you? Hoping how's going? I haven't been around in a while. It's okay, man. It's okay. Don't worry. Hope everything's alright. I'm glad you're back. New job and even more understandable. Yeah, new job is... yeah. Hi Hawk, glad to have you here. How are you? Hope how's it going? Wow, you finally colored it. Yeah. Yeah, we are, you know, we are at it for a while now. We are now coloring, you know, we are now coloring Raora. After her, we are going to color Chatini, and we are going to then refine the background. We want to refine the background first, you know, make edits, fix things, everything would look okay, and then we are going to color the background too. That background is going to be a bit more complicated because, of course, it's like, you know, a full room, actually. But yeah, I'm okay, glad to hear that. Hello, how are you? I'm doing good, doing good. When did you start this drawing? This week? Last week? I think it was this week, yeah. I think we've started on... Yeah, on Tuesday. We've started drawing it on Tuesday. Nice, yep. I have this thing that I want to have like a main illustration to work on during a week and then try to finish this illustration during that 1 week, you know? Because I also want to introduce marathons, you know, like weekly marathons that every Sunday we are going to make 3 streams to catch up with stuff. And that reminds me, I need to also make my streaming schedule. I'm not as patient as you are. I wish I were like you. It's, you know, it's something to work around. You can work out patience. Oh. And yeah, because you know, today we've had the today we've already had 1 stream. It was an hour-long stream with actually finished flats for Raora here, and we've done just some other small edits, and yeah. I'm actually thinking about also making a stream during one of the days. Where we are going to sit down and draw some patterns, you know, like maybe some leather pattern, maybe some clothing pattern, you know, like some visibly there's some kind of texture on the clothing, like very thick plotted. So you know, flower pattern like here. See you around. Sorry, I can't stay longer. It's okay, Red. It's okay. Good luck, mate. It looks very good with colors. Yeah. Everything looks way better with colors. We are just, you know, slowly progressing with it, just adding on to everything. Also, I might need to give a call to my boss because I might not be able to go to work tomorrow. You know. I am. It almost looks complete. You know, that's about right, because like when it comes to Raora, she's almost complete. Right? We just need to finish coloring her dress and then hers, and that's it. Right? But then we also have the background, which looks like this. We'll need some, you know, some changes. It's just very simple sketch. We'll need to refine the table, here, like the counter, the window, probably add some stuff. Oh wow. So yeah, there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot. The thing is that it's not character art. That takes much longer. Illustrations do take much longer, and they are very more complicated to finish. That's why I usually go for character arts. Because for illustrations you kinda need to go for storytelling. At least some like blatant story. Like for example here, Raora portrayed as a mother figure. And the POV, right, the point of view. I'm not calling it a viewer because, like, of course viewer is a bit different, but point of view of the illustration, we can see that it's first person and there are paws of the Chatini, right, the Raora's mascot. So yeah, that's like the thing, right? So it kind of tells the story, it paints the it paints the picture. And yeah, you don't really need to overcomplicate your illustrations with God knows what kind of stories. Some of them are really, you know, some of them can tell a lot, but yeah, I understand. Oh my. Making those shadows is going to be tricky. But I guess we are almost done. Yep, okay. That's about right. Nice. Now we are just making like some indentations in the thing because that's like, you know, a rubber band kind of sticking around the characters, you know, element. So you want to make some bumps and stuff. Okay, let's pick up this again. No. I'll be back in a while. Alrighty. Ito. Bleh. Oh my. Okay, and I think we want to now pick up this color and just add a little bit of light here, like kind of like a bounce light. You know, I kind of feel bad now because it seems like the texture is, you know, because the texture is kind of disappearing. I could just overlay it. I kind of messed up on that one. Something to remember for the next one. Why, it looks fine. Yeah, it kinda is, but you know, if I would have the thing split on a different row, right, or in a different layer, then I could just make the shadows and then use the multiply or overlay blending mode on the layer above, so the thing would actually absorb the shadows and it wouldn't be tinted. It would just look as it's shaded, right? So that's why I'm saying this. It looks okay. I'm just worried that it's going to look very muddy and just messed up, you know, because those are not the proper shades for that, you know, color scheme. So yeah. That is indeed interesting. I did kind of messed up. Now I see more and more. Oh well. Alright, I guess we've got it for the thing? No idea really. I hate this. I hate not being sure what to do. I don't know, let's just add some highlights maybe here. Then we could slam some highlights here, then here. And I'll highlight here on the hip. Awesome. Yeah, no, it looks freaked. we might redo the whole thing. It looks like someone barfed on it. Fun, not really. I want to jump off of a cliff. Great. Now what? So first of all, we want to just shade her dress, then we are going to add the pattern. That was the first mistake we've had. I utterly despise this, but yeah, we have to redo the entire dress. That's what happens if you don't think what you do when you are drawing. And thank God we are doing this on a freaking digital. And it's so easy to just switch the freaking layer. Imagine if we wouldn't use layers here. Oh, that would be so bad. That would be really darn bad. Okay. Alright. Yeah. Davis Engie. Anywho. So basically now what we are going to do is actually redoing the whole thing, remaking the shadows, and then bringing in the thing. Although it still looks fine, I really need to redo everything because, yeah. Also, I'm thinking if the dress is good, if dress got the right lines, but I think it's also because of the pattern. Oh, it's merged down everything. Yeah, that's actually how I used to do this thing, you know? I used to actually merge every single layer I've had into one. It was working, but on the short run, if you start to add things like textures or other like complicated shapes, you are freaked if you mess something up to such level like this. You know what I mean? You want to watch out for yourself when you are shading. That's why I don't really like coloring itself, because there's way too much thinking involved into the process. Okay, I guess that's all. Suppose. Okay. Now, Oh my. Yeah, I don't do too much with filters and layers. They occasionally transform and liquefy. Yeah, it's still pretty good, but like, you know, if you do things with it's like, how to explain this? Those are like very advanced tools to use, you know? If you are starting to get further into drawing, you are starting to experiment more and more. So there will be time where you'll sit down and start to experiment, and you'll look at what you've done and you're going to be like, God damn, I wish there would be a layer separation. I've had way too many situations like that while drawing the, you know, those 20 characters for my artistic universe. I've had way too many cases of that. And, you know, back then I wasn't using any layers. I was making the sketch, which was a line art, just as much as I'm doing right now. And then I was coloring, and then after I've put on flats, I was actually merging every single layer into one, and then I started shading. Because it was making really cool effect for the line art, because the line art started to be more, how to say this, more visible, right? It was popping up a little bit more because it was getting colored at the same time, so... Oh my. Thank God making it, like fixing the dress shading wise is not really that difficult. Thank God it's not that difficult. It could be way more difficult actually. We'll see. I'm really hoping that all of that is going to work out. By the way, drinking coffee. It's 15:20. I don't really recommend drinking coffee, so many coffees, because it's actually my 5th cup. That reminds me, I might really need to contact my boss. To be fair, I'm wondering why so many VTubers are starting to go indie. It's kind of painful to see when, you know, someone made a, you know, an imprint on the VTubing under certain corporation. Like, for example, some VTubers, you know, some VTubers from Hololive, and they are just, you know, dropping out. They're graduating. Actually, not really saying much. It kind of raises a red flag, because it seems like they actually can't really explain what's going on, you know? Like what? Because, you know, I bet if they could, they would say what is the reason. I bet if they could, they would say. And it seems like there's like a huge secret that something is happening within Hololive, but then again, many other VTubers from there are saying that they are actually doing pretty good, and it's not like someone is experiencing really bad, you know, cases in there. Maybe it's, you know, it's like, probably it's like in every corporation, probably it's about the money. You know, the longer people work, the more money they want, right? But the corporation might actually refuse raising their cut because, you know, I bet that it's more like a cut, right? Like, oh, you get this much percent from the ad revenue, we are getting this much percent from our revenue. And for example, the VTubers over time just want more percentile from the ad revenue, right? Because I don't know, maybe other talents are getting more or something. I know that Fauna said that she left Hololive. She's leaving Hololive just because she doesn't like the direction in which Hololive is going. That actually made people ponder what's actually going on in there. What does she mean, you know? But it weirdly just went all silent after that. Because at first it was like, oh, we want every talent speaking Japanese on, and like meanwhile, not that many people actually from the new VTubers actually know how to speak Japanese at this point. So they've went back on that. So I don't know, maybe, you know, they were trying to JP-fy a lot of things. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Fauna actually had some news to share, but it ended in the case that, you know, that they didn't allow her to share the news. Yeah. Or maybe, you know, she also could just have some personal problems and company just denied her the necessary time off from streaming, or just started bullying her into streaming more or something. Who knows? Like, at this point we don't know, but it does raise a question because, you know, many huge VTubers left. Fauna was one of the, you know, was one of the people that was actually in in any collab. Actually, she really liked to interact with people. She was in many collabs, especially in Yen. And then we've had Gura, who actually was the most profitable for Hololive VTuber when it comes to the, you know, HoloYen members. And she just left too. And I don't think she ever mentioned the reason. If I remember correctly, because it happened some time ago. So it was like... it was just weird, you know? It makes me also worried because, like, I'm still trying to, you know, make an audition for Hololive, maybe try to, you know, get somewhere one way or another. But in the end, it's actually, you know, just ending up this way. I doubt I can actually... I doubt that I'll be able to go anywhere. Because from what I've seen, it's like Hololive just needs people who are already huge, not someone, you know. Yeah. Not someone who stagnated his channel on purpose. I don't know anything, so I can comment on it. If we base it off of the music industry, it could be that they think they could make it on their own and the company was restricting their freedoms. Possibly it could be like that, yeah, because actually they couldn't really stream many things they wanted. Like many you know, many VTubers who went indie said that, you know, oh, now as now I'm not under the corporation, I can say this thing. And like, you know, it's very specific because like, oh, so they literally had to withhold from saying specific stuff, and I guess they are fined or punished for saying those things. You know, there could also be a drama because you know how it is with companies. New employees are, you know, oh yeah, so we are going to make rises in paychecks, but actually old employees are not receiving the rises because why? They're just raising the starting compensation for the newcomers. So maybe, you know, it turned out that the newcomers are getting better cuts or something like that, and in the end some internal drama erupted regarding cash. You know, if you don't know what's going on, it's for sure about the money. We have a saying, and so far it's been always very accurate. But still, though, it kind of makes people worried. I've seen people like asking questions because just in this year, ever since January, we've lost many talents. Same last year, just year by year more and more VTubers are going. It's not like they are graduating and not coming back to content creation. Actually, they're graduating and going indie, so they enjoy streaming, they enjoy being VTubers. They are just living the corporation life and just start to stream on their own. Also, it's like, you know, it's also a contractual thing, you know? They're making contract with you for X amount of years. And after that, they, you know, if either you can extend the contract or the company can extend the contract. There's also stress because it's like a job, so they can just drop you off anytime they want. It may be that their contracts were bad since the corpus had more power a few years back when being an individual was harder. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And just, you know, you can see by... but you can see you could see how things are going on by simply by the Zentreya and the band and Vishojo. Vishojo thought that they can pull the strings. Zentreya said no, fuck off, and she just she dropped out from Vishojo. And after her, like 5 other VTubers just left, just like that. And Vishojo had to disband because they had no main streamers that everyone wanted Vishojo for. And especially after like explanation of where the drama came from, they just dug their own grave. Niji Sanji, same. abuse, bullying, mental abuse, peers bullying others, jealousy, everything seeped through, and the freaking septic tank exploded, pouring all the shit out on the internet, showing like how the company actually is, how little they actually receive, that some streamers literally had to pick up other things, you know. Hi Val, good to have you here. How are you? Hope it's going. So yeah, like the problem is actually is that a lot of companies sooner or later they are starting to see money and they're getting greedy over time for it, and when the greed comes in, bad things are happening. Long time no see, Paul. Yeah, how have you been, Val? How have you been? It's sad to see, and I'm really hoping that nothing bad is happening to anyone at Hololive, because so far it would seem like Hololive was actually one of the better corporations, and it still seems like they are trying to be one of the best and just trying to cut deals, and you know, they are like showing on the internet that they are caring for their talents. Nothing much, just about to go to sleep, so I came over to greet you. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, that's problematic, you know? That's problematic, because in the end you can just... yeah. Also, I am wondering about other talent agencies. Because you know there are talent agencies for just other streamers, right? Like normal streamers. I bet they would pick up a Vtuber if they would want to. Like for example, Purple Cliff is under talent agency if I remember correctly. But it's always that thing. When you are independent and you know what you're doing, that's way easier. More freedom. You don't have to worry about nothing. You can say whatever you want. But also the thing is that you can't be really too opinionated on streams, especially, you know, when you're a content creator and stuff, and you're trying to be a content creator. And trying not to sound like I'm a pretentious fuck. I'm trying not to sound like I'm very opinionated. But yeah, I'm having like a weird kind of thing whenever I'm trying to explain something, there are times when I'm weirdly, you know, picking up like aggressive tone for some reason, and it's really bothering me because I don't want to sound like this. I don't want people to think like I'm aggressive towards them, because I'm not. That's the thing, like I may sound like that, but you know, I'm never like that. Someone would have to really be irritating regarding something, like trying to force me to something or something like that. Because those are the things I hate, and that's when I can become aggressive. But I'm like when I'm explaining something to someone, or like trying to talk with someone about the stuff, I'm never really trying to be aggressive or sound aggressive. It just for some reason seeps through without even like letting me to notice it, because I would correct myself. And last time I was like, you know, I was told that I sound very pretentious, and it hit me, like, you know, it actually hit me, because I remember the talk and I never meant anything that I was saying to sound aggressive, you know. That's the main problem. I'm really trying my best here. Yeah, and we are stuck with shading this thing. I'm just kind of torn between stuff. And yeah, Val, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Hope you will have a really nice sleep. I remember you've had, you know, you've had problems with that, so I hope that those are much better now. Ah, oh my. Now I kind of want to shade Tammy. You know, it's kind of rounded, so we'll need to. Who broke Davis? I don't recall you ever sounding pretentious. However, I'm very dense. I mean, you know, like I was told that during that one talk, I sounded like very angry, very pretentious, you know, very aggressive, and it hit me because like I'm, you know, even yeah. Because to be fair, even if there are topics that are making me mad, I'm really trying my best to like withhold from any kind of aggression because I know that, you know, that my opinion is not valid, right? So that's the thing, and I know that other people might actually have more sense, more right, because I'm not all-knowing, right? But yeah, it's just you know, it's just a problem of mine, I guess. I'm just watching out for my tone. It's something I really have to work out because I was told that I sound very pretentious whenever I'm writing messages to and emails. That's why I've started like checking if I'm not sounding in my emails, right? Like my business emails. I'm always checking if I'm not sounding like any, you know, any aggressive at all, like aggressive at all, right? Because at my previous workplace, I actually was told that I sound like that, and that sparks problems among others, you know. Uh, I'm, yeah, that's the thing, you know. Huh. But yeah, they are, you know, the person that told me about that was 100% right. Like I've checked the VOD. I've actually checked the VOD because I've got worried to such extent, and I actually sounded like very pretentious. Like I've sounded like I'm arguing. So yeah. Anyway, G, that's going to be problematic to draw, isn't it? Okay, and I guess around here we're going to give her like belly button and make it like have a little bit like this, that, yeah, because she's kind of fluffy, right? Like it's not like her original design is kind of fluffy, but that design, right? That moderately like design, because the moderately figures in anime, well, generally moderately figures have a rule to be soft, right? So soft in body type, so we want to go into that kind of idea and just give her a little tummy to underline that softness, right? Sam, really problematic, really problematic. That dress, it's actually because of like placement of everything, you know? It's actually because of the placement of everything, because like how the arms are covering everything, how the light is hitting everything, right? So there's a lot of shadows around this area, but we can't really do that. We can't really do it properly because the arm is covering a lot, you know? It would be, I guess it would be something else if you would actually see a bit more, but yeah. I guess. So now another thing, the breasts are going to cast shadows, so we are going like that, right? That's the one breast here, and there's a second breast here. So we're overlaying the shadows. So you have that. Another thing, her arm is going to cast shadow. Do we want to cast that shadow? Actually, I guess we can just cast the shadow like that, you know, for the arm, and then maybe try to make something here like that and that. Yeah, makes sense. Perfect. Okay, finally the stomach area is done. It's usually it's not taking me that long to work it out to such extent. Huh. At one side, I feel like the stomach area is still bad. But then I'm zooming out and it's looking better. So I don't know. Ah. No, I need that to be a bit different. Okay, that works, but I need it to be actually like, there we go, like not really that visible, not really as high. There. Now this dress is making much more sense, isn't it? And come to think of the fact that we spent like what, nearly an hour to find a texture for the flowers on the dress, making the placing the textures on the dress, then making the shadows, deleting everything, and going back to square one. Okay, cool. At least we've already got the freaking texture. All I just need to do is get it back to Clip Studio and just throw it in. You know. So yeah, on yesterday's gaming stream, by the way, for those who are interested, and for example never heard of it, we do have a gaming channel. Through the process of a master. Nah. If I would be a master, I wouldn't have to get back to square one because of some foolish mistake. Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay. Good. They are good. Alright. Yep. Let's now get this. We have to make it smaller. Oh wait, right. Okay. 4. We have to delete the white background. I'm going to delete the white background and save it as it is. I could do that later. I mean earlier. Another mistake that I've done. I guess I'm just very, you know, it's one of these days. I'm kinda tired, haven't slept well, to be fair. That's why I'm drinking so much coffee today. I actually haven't slept well. Didn't John Singer Sargent throw out the whole painting and start over? I mean, many artists did that. But why did he throw out the whole painting? You know? It's, you know, there are like many issues that artists are facing. Or like, for example, Mona Lisa was painted for 50 years or something like that. Like most of the Da Vinci's life, actually. Just because he, you know, he didn't... I think it was, the thing was that he didn't really like this painting, but he actually decided to finish it over time when he moved finally to France and was painting there. So, yeah. You know, you can kind of say that there is truth to that fact, because artists are always going to see issues with their own artwork, so it's always something that artists are going to do, like just trying, you know, trying to bring themselves down, even though their artworks are far greater than most of the, than what they think. Like, for example, I would never expect to ever be in a situation where I would start to rethink the fact if I want to keep at it with the, you know, with accepting the commissions. I'm now in the state where I actually got crap load of commissions, and I think I might need to wait a moment to, you know, to get rid of them. We don't want this. Well, I guess it's going to be easier to do that. Okay. But it's just the process, you know. Angry artists and stuff. But to be fair, you live way better as an artist if you accept the fact that there are going to be issues with your artwork. Of course, there are things like, okay, I've messed up. I could have done the shadows first, then the texture in the first place. And now I've had to redo everything only because it started to look like a mud. But if I've just saved the artwork, because it would look like a mud, you know? And so I've just saved an artwork this way, because it's, let's be real, it was a majority of the artwork, so kind of had to. Yeah, kind of had to. So what I'm doing right now is just, you know, deleting the overlaying texture. After deleting all that overlaying texture that is in the places where it shouldn't be, leaving only the texture on the dress, we are going to change the blending mode for the thing, because we don't want to have the, you know, we don't want to have most of it on, you know, on anywhere actually. But yeah, I really want to make a stream where we are going to sit down and make the textures like that. Just a bunch of textures, like wood texture, rock texture, everything. I know I've shown you already that it's very simple to make them, but still making those textures every single time I want to add a texture to my thing, to my artwork, it's actually a bit counterintuitive to constantly do the same thing, you know? That's why it's going to be very crucial for me to sit down and make a stream for making those textures for myself, because otherwise I'm just going to waste time searching for textures, and over time it's just going to look pretty bad. You need textures to fit your art style too, you know? You need your textures to fit your art style too. That's why it's going to be very important for me to make a folder with them. I don't know, it shouldn't really take that long. Maybe wood is going to take a really long time, but you know, over time it shouldn't be really that difficult. So now not overlay, multiply. I could do multiply, darken. Darken looks good. But yeah, it's kind of breaking. Not color, not soft light. Overlay looks, yeah. But I can actually counter it. Control C, Control V, and making it a multiply. And yeah, no, yeah, no, okay. I guess we are going to leave it like this. Yeah, that looks good. So just multiply layer. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. Wait. There's one thing that I done the last time that I didn't do here. Remember? There's that thing where stuff are going to be pushed here and there just to fit the bendings. In Webtoons, they just leave it unwarped, lol. Yeah, but I want to have it warped. Or should I leave it unwarped? Let's leave it unwarped, maybe. How about that? Okay. And now, huh? What else left? Hairs only, and like mouth and stuff. Let's do the mouth and stuff. I saw only warp specific areas. Yeah, it's like, you know, maybe in like very dynamic close-ups and stuff. It's not even a close-up, so I guess we don't need to do that. It would look bad. Like, I've noticed that it started to look bad when I zoomed out, you know? Hi, unknown person. Glad to hear how your pain has gone. Don't mind my username. My little brother changed it. Oh. Oh my. Then it happened again, skipping words and misspelling. No, it's okay, it's okay. Don't worry. It might be me skipping words and misspelling. My birthday's today. Hey, happy birthday! Happy birthday, man. It's me, my brain tells me I already typed it and I skip over stuff. I see. I'm having the same thing, don't worry. I'm having the same thing. That's why I'm always, you know, even though I can type really fast, I've actually got issues with the thing where I have to reread if I wrote something properly or if I wrote every single word that I should. Otherwise, I'm, you know, I'm pretty fast typer. I remember it happening like a year ago. The person I was texting probably thought I was a crackhead. I didn't know how they understood me. Oh my. I actually remember one client. Hey, let's go. I actually remember I was talking with one client and I thought that I've typed some, you know, like asking about the changes, and I was like, and I've typed in, so what do you think? And then they like send me 3 question marks, and I was like, you know, about the changes, and like, what changes? And I looked back through my entire, like, you know, conversation with them, and actually there was nothing about any changes. I didn't said anything about them, you know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Huh. Oh my. Oh no, certified cringe moment. Davis will remember it and it will haunt them in their non-existent dreams. What? What do you mean cringe moment? What did I do? Oh no, click change. The changes email. Oh, yeah. Nah, it wasn't really that bad. Like, you know, the client brushed it off. But like, you know, ouch, my neck. Okay, and I want to test out once again this like different hairstyle making method. It's not really that difficult to make, I just want to check it out. So we're taking the pink. I'm actually going to unselect the ears because we want just to work with the hairs. Ears are going to be colored differently. My most certified cringe moment is when I showed my friend a meme IRL and they didn't laugh or even pretend chuckle. I died a little inside that day. Oh my. Jesus Christ, the music was coming from the other room. I've started hearing like, you know, I've started hearing the freaking Christmas songs, and I was like, what? Where is that coming from? Is it the song? Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. I can't wait for Christmas. I'm always saying that because I am always very happy for Christmas season, but like I know that it might not be the best one. You know, it might not be the best one right now. They're in your head, Dave, is the SpongeBob room. It's a rock. It's not just a normal boulder, it's a rock! Okay. The thing is that they want me to add like white elements here, but that's going to make the hairs look very plasticky. So I'll need to change things a little and actually make it you know, not full brightness, but you know, some kind of brightness, right? My neck and back hurts so much. I hate it. And I have to be old. I hate that. Can I be a kid again? Just not worry about nothing and just attend school. That would be cool. I want to be like 16 again. That would be good. Ah. Ah. Same except school. Nah, school is important. You all go out and your school. To be fair, if I would think a bit... Did you enjoy school? Not really, but now I miss it, you know? Like when all those teachers that you didn't want to listen to were telling you, oh, you'll miss the school when you'll grow up. Yeah. Yeah, they weren't lying. I wish I could just, you know, focus only on school and stuff now. Even though I hate it, I know that I would have to do something, and if I would have to pick now between my depressing, stressful job and my depressing school, I would pick depressing school, because at least I wasn't stressed that much. I could just spend more time on drawing and stuff, maybe even working out the, you know, maybe even working out a bit more of my YouTube channel and stuff. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. I thought kids in my school were annoying. They would throw water when you were using the toilet and break the soap dispenser. I mean, same here, but like, you know, I'd still prefer that instead of like dealing with the taxes and shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, I prefer those hairs a bit more. What you all think compared to the previous artworks to this one? Hmm. Nah, I need to do it differently. Need to kind of figure out that step, but I think we are not that far away from completing hers. You know? I don't know if those hairs are actually fitting the style. You know? Have you tried shifting the hue for the hair shadows a little to the reds? Yeah, they are. They are shifting to the reds. Much more. Wait, let me like change it. Maybe that's going to help. Like now I'm using like just reds. It's just a style for the hairs, you know? Like hairs must have to fit rest of the you know, rest of the thing. These ones weren't. I need to delete these first, then start coloring. Although I'm not sure for how long I'm streaming, I'm suspecting that it's almost 2 hours now, so I guess we are going to, you know, just slowly end the stream. I'm going to do a couple things and yeah. On the other hand, it kind of looked okay. It's just, yeah. Like it, I've got the hairs properly, but the rest of the style is not fitting to the to this kind of style of the hairs, you know. Ah, decisions, right? Mm. I mean, we're almost done with it, so we Gucci. Hmm. I have a hard time with my painting. I want to add a foliage in the background to create more depth, but it is just look off when I do it. I know that feel. I know that feel. Don't worry, you'll get it. You know, maybe it's the type of foliage. Have you thought about that possibility? Like what kind of foliage you are trying to add, and then maybe try to figure out the workaround, you know? Like, oh, this kind of tree is not working, right? Like, oh, oak is not working. Maybe let's try a pine, how pine would look like. It's all about the shape too, you know? Foliage might look very random, but actually it's adding shape to the certain scene. That's why, also color, right? That's why, for example, let's say you have like some evil guy, why there are red roses? It's not because he's a lover, it's because red also means aggression, something bad, you know? That's why also in anime, red petals quite often are portraying the thing. Tree branches, bamboo, or maybe flowers. However, it just looks dumb. You know, it's not about that. Like, try to maybe work around and do a bit different foliage. Like, analyze the terrain. You know, analyze the terrain, check around things. Try to experiment with different kinds of foliage. I mean, heck, if you're doing this digitally and you can ask AI, you can also ask AI what kind of foliage would work. And where it should be placed. Like, if you really have, if you're really stuck, remember you can always use that solution. AI doesn't have to be an enemy of an artist, you know? If you are not using it to generate an artwork from stolen pieces, you can just ask it to analyze your artwork and ask how you can get around this. Really good tool for that. As a matter of fact, you know, universities for graphic design are actually teaching their students that nowadays you want to ask the AI for design to fit in. I think I know now, the characters look too close to the camera for a tree to be in front of them. Might be. Yeah, that might be it. But yeah, if you know, if you want like a quick fix, you can always like ask AI. Don't worry. It won't bite. It's not like you are sacrificing your entire creative process just for the AI to do the entire work. No, it's still your artwork. It's just you are asking the tool to analyze the thing for you. Because, for example, your eyes might be too tired, so just so you wouldn't waste time, you can just ask if it's looking good. Or what should be corrected, you know? Yeah, that might be it, you know. If the characters are too close to the camera, then yeah, the foliage in front of, like, in the foreground wouldn't be that good. I thought you mean like the background foliage. Actually. Hmm. Oh my, oh my. Red spy in the base. Hi, Amy. Good to have you here. How are you? Hoping how's going? How have you been? Image gen scares me. No, don't go for the image gen. Just ask what foliage, just ask for an advice, like what foliage would work well for this scene. It's going to analyze your artwork and just tell you like, oh yeah, actually, if you would add in the background, on the left, an oak tree, and on the right, you could add a birch tree. You would have a bit better composition for colors and so on and so on and so on. Hi Skylar, glad to have you here. How are you? Hoping it's going. We're actually going to have a third stream at 7 p.m. We'll see though. Because I might not be in a state, I'll have to all after those two streams. I need to figure stuff out. I need to contact my boss about not coming to work tomorrow because I have to do something. So yeah, like it's really good thing to try to go around AI and ask what to add to your artwork, but don't image gen. Don't do any image generation, and it's not going to input your artwork into the database. It shouldn't. It's, you know, unless it's stated like that. They're training their artworks based on some other. They're training their artworks based on specific paid websites actually that are allowing for this. If you input your artwork inside of the AI, it's not going to. I don't think it's going to actually input the thing. Although I'm not sure. I'm actually talk bullshit right now. I've never really threw my artwork inside. I just describe the scene and usually describe the scene and told you know it to give me the ideas. So I wouldn't be so sure actually on the second thought that whatever I'm saying is actually good. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, maybe don't throw your artwork inside of AI. We can still, you know, describe the thing. Actually, wait. Give me a second. Yeah. This one's going to be a bit more problematic, ain't it? I don't know how image video gen is still a thing even for going the morality of stealing intellectual property. I recall hearing about a company's dataset containing illegal material. I guess they scraped everything and their data cleanup filtering wasn't good enough. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And you can just delete anything. I mean, the filtering that they have right now is just blocking AI from fulfilling certain things. But their training models are already tainted with the illegal content. It's still a thing because a lot of people just want to generate stuff because they've learned that it's the way. And that's the only reason why. And I won't say it's, you know, it's actually something that I was also pondering for a while, and there is no other solution. This is just how it is right now. But experts are already saying that we are at the collapse or at the verge of collapse of the grand collapse of AI because AI starts to learn on its on their own artworks right now. So soon it's going to be back to square one because the learning models are just going to die on their own. They are just going to collapse on their own, on themselves. That's the thing, you know. So like, sure you can learn, and I've noticed that no matter the newer AI they release, the worse it actually is than the previous models. There was like that one golden child some time back that everyone was using, and now, for example, ChatGPT you ask it to do something, it gets a stroke. Even though literally the same thing was, you know, even though it was capable to do the same thing couple models back. And I mean it in a way that, you know, not like, oh, it's bad or anything, right? Or like the prompt you are giving it is it's bad and they've blocked it. No, I mean actually the fact that you're asking it, for example, to make like a Excel Excel formula, and literally back in the days it was capable to do that Excel formula doing the exact same thing, and now it's literally dying trying to make that formula. So either, I don't know, either maybe I was lucky some time ago, but I doubt. I think it's actually already starting that ChatGPT, for example, is having a stroke because it's, you know, it was trying to learn on its own data set, and, you know, it's just not working anymore. Okay. I guess that this is going to be it for the hearse. I don't know why, but this is still not working well for me. Like, I feel like I need to get... Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. Okay, folks. We are going to say enough for this stream. We'll see later. Meanwhile, thanks Carrion for being active channel on Twitch, and thanks Carrion, Red, Hawk, Val, Unknown Person, Ayami, and Skylar for being active in the channel on YouTube. Meanwhile, stay creative, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Take care, and